Hello everyone, this is Joe Orange, and today I'm going to be talking about the 10 things I wish I knew before I started playing Conqueror's Blade. And the first one is Fief Quest. To get to them, you talk to the warden, click on Fief Overview, go over to Fief Quest, and it'll have this list. There you can see the quest criteria. All this stuff is available on the world map. If you don't know how to gather, I suggest you go see my gathering video. And what you get in exchange for completing these quests is a bunch of house prestige, house XP, and you help the fief you're in build up. But the best reward, and the only real reward you get if you're not in the house, is honor points. Now what honor points allow you to do is unlock new units. As you can see, those halberdiers are going to cost me 7,500 honor, so you need a bunch of it. And one of the best ways to do that is by completing Fief quests. They're very easy to do. And it's probably the main reason they capped it at 20 per week, or else you'd just spam them and you'd have tier 4 units in a day or two. You can also view Fief quests on the world map. Just press M, hover over a fief that's nearby, click on it, go to Overview, over to Fief quests, and now you can see what materials they need, because all the fief need different materials. And if you have a bunch of wood, you can see which ones need wood and go deliver it there. The next thing I wish I knew before I started playing this game is about weeklies. To get to these, you either press on this icon or you just press L, then go over to weekly quests, and it will have a list of things you can do that mainly give bronze. It also fills this bar up, and that's what's important. When you fill it up, you'll receive a number of rewards such as vault keys, honor, skill pages, etc. Doing the weeklies is very easy. Even if you're a casual, you probably fill up half the bar on accident. The hardest part about the weeklies is remembering to go collect your rewards. On a side note, there's less important sign-in bonuses per day. You click O, there's a sign-in bonus. They're not that great, but yeah, that's something you can do. The next thing on the list is what each piece of siege equipment is actually good at. The first one on the list is the Grape Shot Cannon. This is the shotgun of the game. It just spreads a bunch of damage out. Very good at killing units. And surprisingly good at killing heroes at a short distance. It's useless at long range though. The next one is the cannon. Now this basically destroys anything it hits. And it has an amazing range. The thing is, the reload time is really long. It's not very good at killing troops. Basically, I use this to take out enemy siege equipment and to snipe off enemy heroes. It also weighs a ton, so if you're doing territory wars, it's hard to bring one of these along. Next up is the ballista, and these are basically the sniper rifles of Conqueror's Blade. They've got one use, but they're very good at it. You hit someone in the head, and their head falls off. It is very easy to aim, has a long distance you can fire, but it's useless at any other task. If you need to kill troops or enemy siege equipment, this thing is not going to get the job done. Next up is the arrow launcher, basically the medieval machine gun. It sprays a bunch of arrows everywhere. It's not very good at long distance, medium to short though, it rips through troops. Also pretty good at killing heroes. It won't kill them in one shot, but you land a few of those arrows on them, it'll rip through them. Its main weakness, it sucks at taking out enemy arty. Apart from that, it's very easy to use and highly effective. Next up is the most noob-friendly weapon, and that's the Scorpio. It does almost no damage, well, compared to other siege equipment, but it tells you exactly where your shot is going to land. It will have this lob icon telling you exactly where everything's going to hit. It also lobs shots, so you can shoot over walls, etc. Its main use is to kill enemy troops. It's not the best at it, it's just very easy to shoot. The next piece of siege equipment, I haven't tried this one out too much, but it's basically a mini cannon. The reload is mini, the range is mini, and the damage is mini when you compare it to the cannon. So you get a better reload, but you lose out on other things, which is a pretty decent trade-off. I hate those reload times on the big old cannon. Maybe I should try these ones a bit more. Next up is a mortar, and this is basically a Scorpio, but it kills everything. It's good at killing troops, heroes, siege equipment. I'm not sure what its weakness is. This one just seems the strongest out of the lot. It doesn't do the best at any task, but it does every task. It's just seems really OP to me. I'm just going to say. Next up is the event schedule. You have to go to the site. I'll leave a link below and it tells you when certain events are on. And these are very important. To get skill pages reasonably quickly, you have to turn up when the duel event is on. Knowing when territory wars are going to start, also important, obviously, if you're fighting over territory. And then you have Iron Man mode, which gives you a bunch of honor. It's pretty good. It costs you a fuck ton of bronze, but it's okay. So if I was going to skip one of these events, it's Iron Man mode, so I can be pretty casual that day. I don't give a shit if I miss out on some honor. It is very good honor, but it also destroys my bank account every fucking time. The next thing I wish I knew about before I start playing this game is how to change my camp location. You start off over here, at least on the northwest side, and say I want to move my camp over to here. And I want to do that because the resources on that side of the map are better, or my house is located there, etc. So I need to visit the apothecary, who can be found in any city or town. You talk to them, pick yourself up a migration token. You can also get these as random drops. Once you have one, you can move to anywhere you want, and that is where your supply dump will be located. So if you keep gathering from the east side or the west side, etc., you might as well move there so you don't have to travel as far. So as you can see, I just travel over to the place I want to go. In this case, let's pretend I want to go to Fallenberg. It's a bit of a shithole. I would not move there personally. Westberg is a better place, just in general, because I'm there, okay? So I made it to Fallenberg, and now who I want to find is the billeting officer. He is located, well, at least in this town, he is located over here. Then you talk to the guy and it says move camp. I click on that if I want to move there. It uses up a migration token, but it'll move my supplies there automatically. And now that's my new base of operations. Now the next thing I wish I knew about before I started playing this game is the difference between mastery points and skill points. You gain mastery points by just simply playing that weapon, and they build up fast. They are locked to that weapon though, so you can only use them to unlock skills in that tree. As you can see, I'm doing it now. It only costs me some mastery points. But let's say I want to change weapons, so I want to change over to the spear or something. And now I can use my skill points. These are universal, they build up over time, but at a much slower rate than mastery points. So I'm hovering over the poleaxe now. I have no mastery, but now I can use my skill points. There you go, it'll come up with that. That way when you change weapon, you can unlock some skills and you're not starting off with nothing. The next thing I want to talk about is taxes. Depending on who controls the area, they can set the tariffs to that land. So when you go out to get resources, depending on who controls the land is how much in tariffs you're going to pay to collect those resources. So I'm on the level 6 character, that way my taxes are not affected by being in a house. Because the houses can change their tax to be good for their allies but bad for their enemies, or good for neutral players or bad for neutral players, etc. So I press M to look at the world map, and let's say I want to go get some leather. As you can see, I pay 850 in tariffs if I go to that place. But let's have a look at the other ones. If I go to this one, same resources, 3,000 in tariffs. So you don't want to go there, you want to go to the cheapest one possible. Unless you really hate money. Maybe you're just like, oh, I hate my bronze, and you want to chuck it out the fucking window. Then you go to the expensive place. But that's how tariffs work. You look around the map, see where the cheapest places are, and that is the best place to gather. For number 9, I'm going to be talking about the differences between all the units, and this is my personal experience. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Now let's start off with the halberdiers. These guys are half defensive, half offensive. They're good at stopping anyone trying to charge you with their brace ability. And they come with a decent charged attack. They're very good at fighting melee, not so good at taking ranged fire. If you brace, anything that does charge you is bound to die. Next up we have the pikemen. And these are a very offensive unit. They can smash through most things on the charge, great at killing heroes. But that's about all they've got. Once you charge them in, if they get stuck fighting swordsmen for example, they're going to suffer an ass whooping. Having said that, that's all you need. I love these guys. The charge is so damn good. Just don't expect them to do too well after the charge. If you miss the charge, well, you're going to eat shit. Next up you have the swordsmen. They're decent in every situation. They're decent at everything. But they don't really excel at anything either. These are definitely your jack of all trades when it comes to melee units. Good charge, good defense, but yeah, just not the best at anything really. I do like this unit, I just don't have any real positives or negatives about it. It's just a safe bet that you can bring to any situation. Next up we have the spears. These are your defensive unit. They're good at stopping missile fire, hitting your allies, good at blocking off the enemy, reasonably good at stopping charges, but surprisingly spears suck against cavalry. That cavalry will run straight fucking through you and delete your unit. If you don't like cav, halberdiers with brace is the way to go. Now we have the last melee unit that is half range, half melee. Basically they chuck some jabs in, then they run into combat. Once you get a few levels, you can turn them into a safer range unit, where they won't suicide by going into melee combat after chucking the javelins. And the way you do that is you unlock formations, and that will stop them from moving after throwing. Now these guys, if you can get them on a respawn point, they're fucking lethal. The problem is they only have 1 or 2 javelins and then they're out of ammo. They hit really hard, they do a lot of damage, can kill basically anything, but yeah, chuck 2 times, you're out. So you need to be on that respawn point, at least that's the best place for them. And then you have unlimited javelins, and your OP is fuck. And when I say respawn point, I mean the first aid place. It comes up with a medical sign, you'll see it on the map, but that's where you can summon in more troops and heal your troops. Also, it replenishes your ammo, and that's what makes it so good for the javelins. Next up we have the ranged units, starting off with the archers. They fire far, have a decent amount of ammo, and also fire in the arc, so they can shoot over walls, etc. You won't have to go constantly to replenish their ammo, but they do run out. Also, the higher the ground you have, the better it is for your archers. If you're shooting enemies with higher grounds, you're going to hit bugger all and hit for nothing. Overall, this is a safe bet when it comes to ranged unit. Next up, we have the crossbows. I can't say too much about them, I've hardly tried them. They seem to be between the archers and the muskets. A decent amount of ammo, they shoot in a flat arc, they hit for a decent amount. I just don't think they're good. I think if you're going to go crossbows, you might as well go muskets. Saying that, I have not tried the unit that much. I've hardly leveled it in any test. It might have some secretly OP shit that I'm unaware of, but overall I just have not enjoyed that unit the one time I did try it. So yeah, take that one with a grain of salt. I have not tried it much at all. The next guys I'm going to be talking about is the muskets. They hardly ever run out of ammo. They hit for a ton, but their range is not as good as the archers, and they fire in the straight line, so they can't shoot over different units and kill the enemy range. Basically, I find muskets better at killing infantry, and archers are better at killing other ranged units in general, but of course there's situations where the muskets can win, such as the archers running around the corner straight in front of the firing line, and then of course they will die. Next up we have the cavalry. Now I have not been able to try these guys at all yet, but from what I've seen their charge is bloody awesome, and they're very fast, but in a prolonged fight they will die. The next thing I wish I knew before I started playing this game is that your horse does actually get weaker and weaker over time. And the way to get it to full health again is by feeding it hay. The way you do this is you talk to the horse seller, press mount and fodder, buy some hay. You need 10 to heal a horse from 0 to 100% health. You then go to your character screen, go over to mounts, click on the horse, then click on mouse care. Depending on how damaged your horse is how much you have to feed it. Then click care and your horse is all healed up. And that's the 10 things I wish I knew before I started playing this game. There is a bunch more, but I've ran out of time. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and thumbs up and all that shit. And I'll see you next time.
Lollipop.